yesterday that I was thinking about doing some cooking videos and showing you what I'm making for dinner each day. We're currently in lockdown. It's part of the coronavirus outbreak, so shopping is a little bit restricted. The products you can get are a little bit restricted too. This is the sort of contents at the moment of our store cupboard with our spices and stuff. So today I'm going to try and make a couple of bits and pieces that you can use over and over again. So it's a kind of mixture of different herbs and spices and blends. What I tend to do though, if you've got like old peppercorn tubs or any kind of shakers, keep these because you can use them to put your kind of mixtures in, and you can label them or whatever and keep them in the store cupboard and they're ready made then. Some of the things you won't be able to get your hands on, that's fine, it's not a big problem. We'll just make it up as we go along. If you don't have all these ingredients as well, don't worry about that either. Just substitute it for something else, or don't put it in at all. So my first tip is get a half decent sized bowl. These are mason jars that you can buy or you might have hanging around. If you don't, even keep jars that you've got from sauces or anything you're purchasing and just wash them out. I just finished one of my favourite barbecue sauces that I buy off of the shelf, and I've just washed and kept the bottle, and I'll be using that to make my own sauce. I'll show you that in another video. And yeah, just try and keep storage jars that you know you probably want to be able to use again. They'll come in handy. Just put them in a dishwasher or just boil them or whatever, just to sterilise them. Make sure they're nice and dry before you put anything back in them. But yeah, you can do that. Today I'm going to do a quick curry sort of mixture that I do to make sure that we can get a bit of a curry sauce going. Let's start with, and again, if you don't have the particular things, don't worry about that too much. Either replace it with something else, or if you don't like a particular thing, don't put it in. You can do a whole lot of different things. So I've got little measuring spoons here as well. If you don't have those, just use a regular teaspoon or tablespoon out the drawer. We're going to put in, first of all, a level half teaspoon of fennel seeds. They go in. We are then going to put in a tablespoon of ground coriander, if I can find it on the wall. Ground coriander, and this is going to be a tablespoon. Now, the other thing about these is when they lie in the cupboard, they get a wee bit kind of caked sometimes, so you might need to shake it up a bit. Don't worry if it's just a wee bit too much or whatever, so we're almost there. Right, bung that in. So that was coriander, ground coriander. Different to the leaf. So ground coriander is actually just ground coriander seeds, not the leaf. Or if you're in America, you would call it cilantro, but we're not in America. Next thing is a teaspoon of ground cumin. If I can find a cumin now, there we go. I should have put these in some sort of order. That one's not open yet, so let's use the one that's open. And again, I'm just measuring these out. That's almost level, so let's just go with that. I'll put in the remainder of that jar. So again, I'm going to keep that jar. It'll come in handy for something, because they come with these little pop-up bits to use, which I can't get open. God, this is like a comedy video. But they come in handy for little shakers and stuff, if you're shaking things over the top of your dishes. Right, so that was our the remainder of our ground cumin. We are now on to turmeric, which should be easy to find because it's yellow usually. There we go. And we're going to use 1 teaspoon of that. It's almost a teaspoon, so we'll put that in as well. We've got our fennel seeds, we've got cinnamon. Normally it says put a cinnamon stick in, but I don't have cinnamon sticks. What I do have, if I can find it on the thing here, we've got sweet cinnamon. So I'm not going to use too much of this because it is quite a strong flavour, so I'm just going to use a little half teaspoon of that and just shake in a little bit. Not even half a teaspoon, just a little bit of flavouring. Okay, we can use crushed chilies, or we also have the lazy garlic, lazy chili type things. I'm just going to add just a little tiny sprinkle of crushed chilies into this as well. Just gives it a nice bit of heat later on. A little sprinkle of that. And we've got all of them in the little bowl now. That's the sort of mixture. Now all you would do is double up on or triple all of those ingredients, and you can make up a larger batch of that to be able to put into a mason jar, and then you can just keep that, and it's already pre-mixed. And that's what I tend to do for the briskets and ribs, pulled pork type of things, that I would make up a batch of it. In fact, you can see that I did previously have a ribs rub in this. It's all washed out with the dishwasher now, but that's, so I label them until it means it's easy enough to go and just get them from the larder. Today we're going to make a lamb curry with, these are lamb steaks, lamb shoulder steaks sliced. I'm going to chop them a wee bit more before I put them in. We made our curry powder, which is still in the bowl here. I've chopped some onions quite roughly. I'm going to use a wok. We've got 300 millilitres of water. We've got 3 teaspoons of very lazy garlic, which is easier to find, I think, and easier to store. See if you haven't got out, if you don't have the stuff growing in the garden yet. We've also got chopped ginger. I've only used 1 teaspoon of that. We'll probably use another teaspoon later in the cooking process. And we're going to use this food processor today. It's a wee bit easier to make a kind of curry paste. Okay, so part of the process is we're going to put these things into the blender. So in goes the ginger, in goes the 3 teaspoons of garlic, 4 cloves. If you're putting cloves in, just use 4 cloves. There's quite a lot of garlic actually, but we like garlic in this house. If you can't get this kind of garlic, you could probably use garlic powder or garlic granules. And then this is 2 large onions chopped. Put all that in. Quite roughly chopped, you don't have to worry about that because it's going to get blended. So let's stick them into the blender. Oh. Mara has been my camera operator, so thank you very much, Mara. 300 millilitres of normal tap water. Put that in. Put the lid on. Always put the lid on. Make sure it's powered on at the wall. You just want to make sure you're getting a full kind of paste with this. Make sure everything's getting zapped. joke about the window cleaner coming out. He's actually there. Okay, and then you're going to put it in to a hot pan, a saute pan, something with a lid if you can, would be even better, but I'm going to use my wok today. Take the lid off this now. It smells pretty amazing actually, even just like that. Try and get as much of the gunk out as you can. So all you're doing is making a kind of onion and garlic paste here. You put it into a warm pan here. At least not one, no, I'm just going to give that a wee rinse, a small rinse of water, and put that in. Because the next process is to get rid of some of that water anyway, by just simmering this. Right. Important thing about this as well is you can take the bottom off these and fully wash them. I can't get the bottom off at the moment, but you can fully wash these, and the benefit of that is, oh look, we're getting the windows cleaned. The benefit of taking the bottom off that, which I can't get off at the moment, which I'll take in a minute, and put it in the dishwasher, because when we go to make margaritas later on, we don't want the taste of onion and garlic.
No garlic margaritas here.
No. So we'll do that. Right, so this is just starting to heat, and it'll just simmer away. So we'll bring it to the boil, or almost to the boil first, and then we'll turn it down to a simmer. Right, so I'm going to trim some of the fat off this. Not too much of the fat off, because actually it'll cook down. We're going to put it in the slow cooker after all this. So I'm just going to take some of these kind of big chunky bits of fat off, and then just roughly chop it. So just into kind of chunks. And any kind of massive bits of fat or anything you get on it, just cut them off and keep them to the side. Make sure your knife's sharp. Trim a wee tiny bit of fat off that, because it was quite thick there. Now I've used kitchen paper there to just kind of dry the blood. It's not really blood, but the kind of moisture out of that a wee bit, because it's, if you don't dry them off, these were in the freezer actually, so if you don't dry them off, they kind of get quite watery and they end up cooking in their own sort of steam, and they don't fry when you try to fry them, so just doesn't work so well. Okay, right, so this is simmering away, starting to reduce a wee bit, getting a wee bit thicker, get some of the water out. That's really what we're trying to do actually, is just to reduce it down a wee bit, concentrate it down a wee bit into a thicker sauce. So we'll let that fire away just now. What I'm going to do, is use some rapeseed oil and stick that in to a hot pan, which is getting there. In fact, we'll do it with you in it. Okay, so quite a good glug of oil in there. And I said that we'd left the ginger out because we were going to put another spoon in there. That's not a spoon we're going to use, a teaspoon. Right, so we'll take another teaspoon of this, try and drain some of the water off it as much as you can. This doesn't need to get chopped or anything. So that goes in. Another stir it. That's going into the oil, and then what we're going to do is add that spice mix that we had. We're going to add that in on top too. Just going to stir that round. You do need quite a good glug of oil for this. Just try and get all your dry spices all kind of mixed into the oil and start to fry it. That's your ginger, which I have to say it does smell absolutely brilliant. And then just keep the heat going in that, and with the heat going we are now going to add the lamb. Got a wee bit there. I'm just going to wash my hands. I'll wash the hands slightly more often, obviously, but certainly when you're touching meat, just make sure that you wash your hands thoroughly. And I'm just going to try and get this lamb completely covered in the spice mix here. Give this another little stir as well. You can see that's starting to thicken. So this has probably been going for about maybe 10 minutes now. Just keep it bubbling away on the heat. The colour of that is lovely. Can't get that turned up, there we go. And the smell is sensational. So you can do this with beef or chicken. Everything else is exactly the same. The only thing I'm going to do is, once we've cooked this slightly, we're going to go into the slow cooker. But for the chicken, you would just add that directly to the pan with the onion and garlic in it, and you don't have to cook it for as long. Lamb and kind of stewing beef or anything like that, if you're using something like that, then you would want to cook that maybe a lot longer. I'm going to actually put this into the slow cooker for about 2.5 hours maybe longer. We'll check that as we go. Make sure you're getting all the lamb coated with spices. Okay, so the lamb's starting to kind of caramelise on the outside. You're getting all those nice spices. puree is almost there. Let's turn off the lamb. Keep this sizzling away as well, and we're just going to add the lamb and all those spices and oil into this. Just scraping the pan of all those good bits. I'm a left-hander, so I probably covered most of that there, didn't I? Right. And we're just going to mix this in. It's starting to take on the colour of the rest of the curry powders, all the spices. All the lamb in there. And then miraculously it starts to look like a curry. Now, I'm not going to judge you, I'm really not saying that you've got to do everything from scratch. If you've got meat and you've got a jar of curry sauce in the cupboard, just go for it. Who cares? In these times you've just got to use what you've got. So I'm using the fact we had onions and had a cupboard full of spices there, so that's fine. But if you don't have it, just grab something else. But I know that we're certainly missing our takeaways. We've not bought any takeaways at all during this, so just going to bring that to the boil just a wee tiny bit before I put it into this slow cooker. I've got the slow cooker on now on a low heat. Start to get that warmed up. And now we're going to transfer it into the slow cooker. You could put that in a casserole dish with a lid on and just put it in the oven at a kind of low heat, about 135, 140 Celsius. But I'll put that on now on a low heat on this, and we'll leave it for about 2.5 hours. Okay, so it's been on for about an hour. We'll have a wee quick peek in the pot there now. On for an hour, just cooking away in the lamb, and we are going to add, for the last hour, we're going to add a tin of chopped tomatoes. Add a wee bit of water to that. We're going to add a spoon of crushed chilies. We are going to add quite a bit of salt. If you don't add the salt, you'll not get any of the flavours at all coming out, and then all I'm going to do is just stir that all the way through. best thing to do is have a wee taste and see how it is. Put the lid back on the net. Smells like a curry. It might need a wee bit more spice, but we can add that towards the end. We'll let that cook out and we'll see what happens. But another hour and a half and we'll see. So, close to the end of the cooking of the curry. You look in there. It's looking pretty good. Give it a wee stir in a sec. And I actually just did film this, but I filmed it in the wrong thing. I put on the rice, so it's basmati rice, poured it in, bit of water, clean finger, around about a knuckles depth that you leave at the top of the rice, and bring it to the boil, and then switch it off and just leave it, and all the water will soak into the rice and it will give you nice fluffy rice, hopefully. We'll see. Right, it's now boiled. We turn it off. Still got water in it. And then we just leave it. We'll see what happens. And hopefully it'll actually soak up all the water and be done. Right, rice is ready. Does that look nice and fluffy? Fluffy enough, do you think?
Fluffy.
Paul's round to be a dinner lady.
We had a meal dinner lady. James a dinner lady.
I'm sorry to tell you, but they weren't a dinner lady then.
She was.
I might have made a wee bit too much rice, but it was the end of the packet, so. I usually get the extra bit, don't I? Yeah. Is that chef's choice?
Greasy pig.
Is that what we're calling it? Right. I'll go first as well. Oh, that plate's hot. Ha! I heat up the plate too much. Does that look more like a curry now?
Sure.
Yeah, it doesn't taste like curry.
It doesn't taste like curry. It smells like that Indian restaurant we went to in Brighton.
Maybe that's what the problem is. Right, curry reaction time.
Amazing.
Does it taste like curry?
It's nice.
But it doesn't taste like curry.
Doesn't really taste like a curry. Well, it slightly does. Sometimes it doesn't taste of anything, it's just not super curry-like. But enjoyable. Enjoyable.
There you go. So you can choose to make I don't know, a lamb stew that's got a wee bit of spice in it.
Yeah, it's like lamb bolognese.
Lovely. It's actually, it tastes more like a tagine than anything. Here, another quick tip about something I've just found in the store cupboard there as well. So we keep our garlic in a little storage container, and sometimes if you don't use it in time, you get these little sprouts coming out of it. I don't know if you can see that just now, hold on. You get these little sprouts coming out of it. And what you can do is each of those cloves can be split and you can plant them in the garden, and from each clove you will get a brand new bulb of garlic. So I'll show you that in the garden as well. So just split the bulb up first of all, and you'll be able to see these little cloves coming out. Now, because they've already started to sprout, they'll grow quite quickly. Just take that out of there. Leave them in there. There's wee kind of skins out. So, oops, as I was saying, if you come across some garlic that's started to sprout, don't worry about it. All you need to do is plant it. So I'm just going to make a little hole and put it in, cover it over, just space them apart a wee bit.